Perfect. All right. So my partners, Brent Morrill, Todd Bagley, we all share some really nice overlaps in terms of what our talents and our skills are. Brent is really a mastermind. If you haven't had a chance to meet Brent, MBA educated gentleman, worked at Ford Motor Company for a number of years, rose through the ranks there in their finance and in their executive team on the finance side. Really a very thoughtful person in terms of business strategy and also just in general. Like, he's just a very thoughtful gentleman, very respectful, humble guy. Grew up on a farm out in eastern Utah. We refer to him as the Basonite here. Just a great guy. Lots of fun things, and the three of us, as we've created this new company, we've really done it with the idea of really starting over. One of the things that we love about Asili is the name that we've chosen. The name that is Asili is actually a Swahili word. As we were looking through product development, and one of the key ingredients in our flagship product, Purple, comes from Kenya. It grows in fields on the base of Kilimanjaro. Really sustained practices. Just a kind of an interesting product in and of itself. Most people don't know about purple tea. It's a twin sister to green tea. Same plant in terms of species. It's identified as Camellia sinensis, and but it has some unique properties because of where it's grown. And so as we looked into more of the African culture, Asili was a word that we came up in our search over and over, and has this very unique meaning of genesis and natural and origin. And so we've adopted it to mean and reflect something that's personal to us as founders of the company. And it reflects really for us a new beginning. And we love the idea of connecting new people with our unique products and our unique business platform, really with the goal of driving and maximizing happiness. And we know that today, if you're at all aware with current events in the world, and if you're on social media and Twitter, I totally encourage you to get off. You'll totally change your life without having to deal with a lot of the negativity, and it can really weigh down on people. And so we'd love to ask the question about what makes you happy, and what are the drivers for happiness. And we know that there are common elements that are the basis of happiness, things that are somewhat universal in terms of happiness, progression, development, togetherness, a sense of community, and certainly good health is really at the basis of all happiness. And so we love that people are really searching for this. It's something that we believe, as we go and we talk with people, and share our message and share our platform and share this opportunity, the people really are looking for ways in which they can elevate and improve their happiness. And Asili is the culture, a culture of happiness, where we really are driving people to push themselves, to progress, to do that in a way in which, as they improve health, and as they improve their finances, and as they have opportunities to travel to new places, they really are achieving new levels of happiness. So our formula is health, wellness, and prosperity, and that's how we can achieve a better level of happiness and create a new beginning in each new person with whom we come in contact. So having said that, I really want to focus a little bit on our products, because again, that's my role, and I know that there's been a couple questions that have come up. It's a new a new dynamic and a new culture. And so I want to kind of go through some of these products and kind of give you a sense of what is in store. Just on a really high 30,000 foot view, we are very much a company that's focused on improving the base, improving healthy living from just basal consumption in the sense of helping people improve nutrition, fundamentals of nutrition, teaching people how to improve physical activity and just small nudges in their diet and just daily living. And we do that through our products. We do that through our product education. And really we're designed our products to address kind of three fundamental things that most people are facing in the United States today. And that's really stress and anxiety, having a sedentary lifestyle, and then the all-consuming fast food phenomenon that's just really wrecking our lives today. So we have some very simple philosophies when it comes to our products. We use this moniker of all the good, none of the bad. We'd like our products to be very easy to sell as well. We've purposefully gone through our formulations to reduce or remove barriers and hurdles. For example, you'll find in many, if not all of our products, they're gluten-free, they're soy-free. Many of our products are dairy-free where it makes sense. That not all people can tolerate dairy products, and so we have other alternatives and solutions for that. But we're also not, we're very purposely not inventing or creating needs for it. We're trying we're addressing real organic needs, people who are dealing with stress, people who are fatigued, people who are really struggling with how to right the metabolism, their internal metabolism. So, and also I just want to point out, we really work hard to make our products taste good, because compliance at the end of the day is a big factor. You can have amazing products, and if they are difficult to take on a consistent basis, that really just hurts the opportunity to sell the products again and again. So we're not believers at all that if it tastes awful, it must be healthy for you. On the contrary, we totally believe that good nutrition can also have great taste, and we're firm believers in that. Our overall wellness concept is really fairly simple. We really want to get at the meat of what is healthy living, and so we've selected core as a word that reflects our ideas and our values. We not just working out your trunk, the core part of your body, but really focusing on the essential elements of healthy living, and we do that through 4 very simple steps that are repeatable. Again, remember, we're working on daily habits, and so we want to reinforce the simplicity of what is healthy living, going through cleanses, detoxes, optimizing our bodies. With changes in diet and with lifestyle, you really can change your outward appearance. I mean, they've heard the moniker, that the saying that 60 is the new 40 and 40 is the new 20 and blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of that is really just by making small conscious decisions every day to eat well, to exercise, to do those things that we all know we should be doing. And so our philosophy is very much in that, where we do small things every day really well in order to improve and achieve better happiness and health. And lastly, clearly one of the things that we're focused on is making sure that our bodies are getting the correct nutrition in order to have the right energy. Energy, I think, is is really the currency now. It used to be time is money, and I think now what I see is energy is money. If you are doing all the right things, but you show up to a presentation and you're dragging, you're here's a representative of Sealy, and hey, this is the happy company, and you're falling asleep or you're depressed or sad. I mean, that's a terrible reflection of what the true culture and concept of a Sealy is. And you know what? I think we all deal with that. We're all, whether our demands for family, community, religions, whatever those might be, having the right attitude and the right energy is critical. And I think that affects our business as well, our business potential. So let's get right into it, shall we? I think that's a pretty decent ground and basis for our product philosophy. And feel free, if you have any questions, just throw them into a chat, or at the end we can go through and do a little Q&A. But our lead product is it's a sister combination of products, and it's based off of the color that derives from the components of the product. It's creatively called purple. I said that out in jest, and it's just stuck. And I kick myself for ever saying it, because there's probably a million better ways. But you're talking to a PhD scientist, and I actually only operate out of an 8 crayon box, not the the 120 meter. I'm very simple, but I love what the product represents. We talk really briefly again at a high level. Three primary benefits, and you can denote those benefits on a time scale. Like within 10 to 15 minutes, if you drink Purple or Purple Boost, you will feel an increase of energy, an increase of motivation. You'll also start to feel probably within the hour, the ability to, you're focused, you're concentrated, you're not nervous, you don't have jitters. And a lot of these benefits, I'll explain in just a minute, are derived very selectively from the components that we've chosen to put in there. And there's some really natural complements from those components. What you'll also see is over time, and for some people, I hate to use like the averages, because we're trying to be extraordinary, not ordinary. In science, we tend to use averages because we want to show people on a large scale, the 60% is going to be experiencing this, and not necessarily reflect on the other 40% on both ends of the 20% on each end of the extreme. But for many people, as you drink Purple and Boost, you'll start to notice a decrease in appetite, and you'll also start to notice internally, and you can always verify these with very simple lipid panel or blood sugar tests, blood tests, effects that are happening with your body in terms of your metabolism internally. I mentioned to you, we call it purple because of the color. And we get the color from a very specific class of antioxidants in the flavonoid family, and they're called anthocyanins. Please don't worry about memorizing that chemical structure, but there is some uniqueness in that chemical structure, and that particular structure is what derives function and delivers function. Functions that include, for example, people have mentioned, one of the things you'll notice if you are dealing with hyperglycemia or elevated blood sugar levels, you'll notice that you'll start to be a little more sensitive to that. Well, anthocyanidins are very adept at sensitizing skeletal muscle cells to insulin, meaning you don't have to produce as much insulin in order to absorb blood sugar. You also you'll notice that anthocyanidins are also very good at competing with glucose on the GLUT4 receptors. So you see less blood sugar actually being absorbed in your cells. So over time, you see an improvement in blood sugar, a sensitization to insulin in your cells, and this doesn't happen overnight. It takes, we're talking over the course of 30, 60, 90 days. But some people can see those results pretty quickly and immediately. And where are anthocyanidins found? Well, in our products, we get them from a number of different sources, principally from purple tea, from purple corn, very dark colored fruits or herbal extracts. You'll see here in this corner, I'm looking at the screen on the right, the hibiscus sabdurifa, which is a Jamaica flower, a hibiscus flower, and it's a very popular flower to use in drink mixes in Latin America. These are very brilliant red, purple pigments, and the pigments are actually what the anthocyanidins are actually the pigments themselves. So when you see that, then you can find them in other food sources like a red cabbage or eggplants, blueberries. We've been very particular about where we choose the sources, in part because we believe very much in sustained and sustainable practices when it comes to cultivation, and so we also believe in creating kind of some uniqueness, and that's something that also helps in terms of sharing the story of what purple does and where it comes from. Just really quickly, one of the things about, if I can jump here, is purple tea. Now, I mentioned this earlier. It's grown in Kenya at the base of Kilimanjaro, and it's grown at altitude. And the altitude is really what drives this kind of evolution and a little bit of branching from traditional green tea. You'll notice that the leaves are a very different color, bright red, purple. When you steep the tea leaves, you'll start to see that hot water extracting the pigments and some of the other nutrients out of the tea leaves. Well, this is just a natural evolution of the plant that's producing a slightly different class of antioxidants, again, anthocyanidins, in part to protect the plant from solar radiation, from UVA radiation. You're exposed to higher elevations, you're exposed to greater amounts of UVA radiation, and so the plant's protecting itself, and it's a really cool manifestation of that. Just to give you some idea of anthocyanidins and also antioxidant content, I mean, there's more antioxidants in purple tea than its sisterly tea, green tea, and it's also more anthocyanidins than relative to blueberries, and those are just kind of some simple comparisons to make when it comes to purple tea. One of the unique things that I think about that is about purple tea is this chemical compound, which I just call affectionately GHG. I won't go through the full chemical name, but GHG is a novel compound that's involved in fat metabolism. So it reduces the amount of fat that you absorb, and also accelerates the amount of fat that you oxidize. And so, and this is somewhat true and applies to other anthocyanidin compounds as well. A lot of that has to do with how anthocyanidins interact with a very key metabolic sensor called adenosine AMPK, which is adenosine monophosphate kinase, an enzyme that senses and is receiving different signals and inputs primarily in the liver. And so as you start to activate NPK, you start to decrease the amount of sugar that's produced by the liver. You also increase the amount of lipolysis and decrease lipogenesis. So decrease the amount of fat that's produced and increase the amount of fat that's actually oxidized, or in layman's terms, burned. And here's some really simple data, again, that shows this. These are some animal studies. And what you're seeing here in the circle is just a high-fat diet control. Here's just a normal diet, and then here are animals that are supplemented with purple tea extract, and you can see how that's starting to reduce the amount of fat, and this also reflects in the amount of the body weight. And this is an enzyme CPT1A that's involved in fat regulation, and that's upregulated as you start to include purple tea in the supplement. Some other kind of cool things. We work with a really very, very good quality supplier of hibiscus extract, and they're a super. They work with farms in Mexico. They work with farms in the Middle East, and principally in Egypt, to get a purple tea, or excuse me, to get the hibiscus. Hibiscus, it has some really unique properties. Some are somewhat general in terms of as an antioxidant. Almost all antioxidants, by their definition, are oxidative stress reducers, but it's a very potent vasodilator, and that's one of the reasons why it's in both products, is because it does do a great job of opening up blood flow within the arteries. This is just some data to show about the appetite. So ghrelin, a hunger hormone, when you are using purple, you're going to notice that, again, your appetite's decreased, and that's because ghrelin's just being the expression of ghrelin is being knocked down or decreased, and the expression of GLP-1, or glucagon-like protein 1, that hormone's more associated with satiety. Well, that is upregulated and increased on the genetic level. So you'll notice that at this point, I have not talked at all about ORAC values, or the antioxidant capacity, and I won't ever talk about that. In part because it's not a very useful, meaningful measurement. What are studies like this, where you can see how antioxidants now are interacting at a genetic level that are affecting protein expression, and how that, again, is affecting your metabolism. You can see that there's some pretty nice and very clean data that is being published in some peer-reviewed journals. We can certainly give you access to all of that data and information if you're so inclined. We have a really fun maki berry is a very new concept to us. It's cultivated in Chile, almost exclusively in Chile, down in the Patagonia region. And maki berry has some really new studies. Again, on one of the anthocyanidins, it's called delphinidin, and you can look up benefits of delphinidin. We love it because it's a very good blood sugar modulator. It helps, again, through a couple of different mechanisms. One, through direct competition in the GLUT4 receptor, helps to reduce the amount of glucose you absorb, but it also upregulates the production of more GLUT4 receptors. So you have this kind of, on the one hand, it competes directly with binding, but it's also bringing up more receptors and makes it a lot more easy. It makes it easy to absorb sugar from the blood, and as you go through and eat. There's a relatively new study with maki berry extract that talks about dry eyes, so it helps promote actually healthy tear production. That, along with omega-3s, are two kind of cool ways in which you can alleviate a dry eye kind of scenario if you're dealing with that. Some other common elements are guaraná and yerba mate that we get we source directly from Brazil and Argentina. Then one of the key and probably little known elements in this product, and I think it's a really nice complement to these two sources of energy, guaraná and yerba mate. So it's an amino acid that's produced in green tea called L-theanine. L-theanine has some very unique properties. One, it promotes alpha wave production, so it's almost breaking or slowing down your brain activity. It promotes a state of calm and focus and alertness. And when you combine that with the energy elements from guaraná and from yerba mate, you get a very keen mental focus or keen sense of concentration. You really can block out distractions, and you can block out and really dial in and focus on projects that you're working on. It's kind of curious, anecdotally, Buddhist monks back in the 800s used to drink green tea prior to meditation precisely for that reason. It helped them get into a meditative state. The second element of theanine, and this is something that's a little curious to me, and I think it's a novel way of which you can deal with stress and mood enhancement. Is theanine actually stimulates the release of dopamine and serotonin. So it does that through targeting glutamate receptors in your neuron, in your brain. And in the process of doing that, it will stimulate the production of GABA, which will then signal the release of dopamine and serotonin. So it's a very different mode of action from traditional depression medications that are SSRIs, selective serotonin release inhibitors and things of that nature. And this works through glutamate receptors. And if you're following that kind of biology right now, there's some interesting new molecules that pharma is targeting to do something similar. Well, I mean, it's already there in nature. You don't need to go to pharma. In fact, a lot of, I think this is super curious, like a lot of pharmacological agents are natural based. Like metformin was discovered in a plant in France. And now it's just commercialized and scaled up in manufacturing. So most of the time we don't need to deal or jump into pharmacological agents. I mean, they're already present in nature. So that's a little bit about Purple and Purple Boost. I think one thing, just to make sure that we're all pretty clear, Boost is really has a little bit different focus and direction. It does have 50% more energy. It does give you a bigger energy boost. It's also more effective, I think, in terms of vasodilation. So we like to really promote Boost in the pre-workout and fitness realm. It gets a lot of it really gives a lot of good results in terms of improved workouts and improving stamina. Working out for longer, working out harder, and having larger outputs. Purple, on the other hand, is really more I shouldn't say more focused, just has a stronger focus in terms of appetite suppression and control. I didn't mention the lemon verbena extract that's in Purple. That in combination with the hibiscus extract are very, very good at that ghrelin GLP modification. And so it's a little bit more focused on metabolic improvements, but still gives you a really nice, gentle energy lift. So that, hopefully that helps a little bit in terms of what the product's benefits and focuses are. One of the questions I get frequently asked is, does it help with dementia? And not necessarily. I mean, what really helps with dementia is improving insulin resistance, and that's usually done through diet modification. So really getting rid of a lot of your carbohydrates. I'm sure many of you are familiar with a low carb, high fat diet or a ketogenic diet. That's actually a very effective way of helping people with dementia. Purple certainly doesn't hurt. I mean, it's sugar-free. It does use stevia and erythritol as a sweetener system with monk fruit extract. Excuse me. So you're not contributing at all to any sort of increase in blood sugar or increasing glycemia at all. But in terms of a direct impact with dementia, that doesn't have that. It would certainly, over the long term, consuming, you might see improvements in your blood sugar and in your insulin state. But in terms of directly doing that, it doesn't have that benefit. I mentioned monk fruit extract. It's the scientific name for that is the luo han guo. So, but we affectionately call it monk fruit, and monk fruit's kind of the common name for fruit that's sweet, and it has a non-caloric sweetness to it, meaning it doesn't contribute carbohydrates, doesn't contribute calories. It's very similar to the benefit of stevia. Again, stevia has that same property, that stevia glycosides that are found in the stevia leaf. But that's monk fruit and luo han guo. They trip over that all the time. That's why I just say monk fruit extract anyway. A little easier to say. As we kind of move forward, so I just again to reiterate, the components here are all natural. I think we had a question a couple days ago about sugar alcohols, erythritol, xylitol. If those are natural, yeah, they are. They are. I think some people get confused with synthesis, chemical synthesis versus commercial manufacturing, and they're not one and the same. So typically, like especially with extracts, for example, you go through a process where you leverage on large scales different processes in order to bring out and isolate and purify and enrich different chemical extracts and from plant leaves, herbs, roots, whatever the case might be. So please don't mix or confuse that kind of process with a natural origin of the actual ingredient itself, because they're very different. Okay, I'm going to rip through a couple more of our products, and so buckle up because we'll go a little bit faster now. I'm really I love this. This is one of the first products. I shouldn't say one of the first products. This is one of the products that I really love, because I've seen firsthand some of the benefits you get out of it. Of course, you see that with Purple. Of course, you see that with Boost. Please don't take that wrong. When I first started working with, we have a sister company in Italy that has some very unique and innovative technologies that we love to capture and use. And so they've taken a proprietary encapsulation process to envelop and coat human resident bacterial strains. So ProBio 15 uses the number 15 indicates the number of cells per serving. There are 16 different uniquely identified strains. Um, Many of them are either a lactobacillus or a bifidobacterium. We've chosen 16 because that gives us a very broad coverage throughout your entire digestive tract. Some lactobacillus strains will colonize in your small intestines, bifidobacterium typically in your large intestines. And so we like to have a very broad and full coverage of different strains. You, I'm sure, are familiar with how probiotics work. But just as a reminder, your intestinal tract, especially in your small intestines, is really is at the heart of a couple of things. One is your immune system and also your nutrient absorption. And probiotics work in a couple different ways to provide a benefit to your body. For example, some strains will convert nutrients and create new, will create B vitamins or make selenium more accessible. Some of them they just occupy space, and so foreign or bad bacteria have nowhere to reside and nowhere to colonize. Other strains, there's some really interesting lactobacillus strains that actually secrete toxins that will kill foreign organisms. So you can imagine all of this is happening in your gut. We think like, oh, we're human beings. Well, actually, you got about 1 trillion cells that aren't human cells. They're an order of magnitude more bacterial cells in your gut than there are human cells. So don't freak out. It's totally fine. It's a symbiotic relationship. Mainly symbiotic, and a lot of that has to do with the kinds of foods that you eat. When you're feeding yourself a good diet that's rich in nutrients and low in sugar, you'll by far have a better balance of gut flora. Probiotics are really effective at reducing inflammation within the gut and stimulating your immune system. There's a protective layer that kind of covers your what are called these microvilli, this kind of mucosal line. It's a lining of mucus, and when you eat and indulge in your, I know none of you do, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm guilty of eating many a burger from Five Guys and other places, and it's not the meat itself. Maybe it's that. Whatever. I'm not going to justify it. You can criticize me later, but in the process of doing that, really what I'm damaging is that mucosal layer, and over time that allows for foreign organisms to start to invade and creep, and there's the so-called leaky gut syndrome, and typically that's fatigue, really poor GI feelings, diarrhea, gas, and just overall fatigue. And so probiotics help to reestablish that mucosal layer. Some really simple things, simple, unappreciated benefits that when you take the product, you notice, oh yeah, I've been missing that, and I need that. We're very particular about the strains that we use, and I use this example because what on the back of the box, you can identify at the genetic level with these unique identifiers, LA02. Oh, this means this is Lactobacillus acidophilus. It's a subspecies of Acidophilus. And then you can, if you're really ambitious, you can go look up what those benefits of that strain are in the literature. What you will find most of the time in the supermarket, you might find Lactobacillus acidophilus. You may just find Lactobacillus in the yogurts. So it's generic. Without that unique identifier, you have no guarantee that it's just not a generic strain. And without, in my opinion, without that, you also have no guarantee that you'll get any benefit from it. So we like to put that in there because it shows an extra level of quality and also an extra assurance that this is actually providing a real benefit that you can feel and receive each time you consume the product. Very simple to use. It comes in individual servings. Should have one handy, but I don't. Individual servings. It's a powder you just pour directly into your mouth. Or you could, if you wanted to, mix it into a Greek yogurt or an applesauce or something like that for kids. Most kids actually will just suck on the sachet and devour it. They love it. You should probably put it where they can't reach it because they'll treat it like a candy. But it makes compliance really simple. It's a little bit different presentation. We suffer from pill fatigue, is just like many people, and so having a different way of getting that product is fun and unique. And there's no sugar, no dairy, gluten-free, soy-free, filling all those kind of check marks. And again, a very robust product with some really nice benefits. We jump to a product we just recently launched. Let's see here. So Deanna had asked the question, would it be bad to add probiotic to a liquid? No, it wouldn't be bad, but what you will see are going to be a bunch of floaties at the top of your drink. So because the strains are encapsulated with what's in simple terms like beeswax, they don't dissolve. They'll just kind of cluster at the top of a liquid, unless you're putting it in something like a fatty liquid, like maybe whole milk or something like that, or cream. I don't know a lot of people who just drink cream, so I certainly don't. But just like if you were just to put it in water, it'll just float at the top, and you can drink it that way, but it won't dissolve. So just a warning, like it's not something that dissolves at all in water or liquid, but it does mix really well in kind of more viscous foods like a yogurt. So you can put it in a yogurt and actually make the yogurt functional. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. In terms of Zero DX, so this is a relatively new product. The product has kind of a fun name, Zero. We're really shooting to help people eliminate and reduce oxidative stress. DX means detoxify, and so the purpose of this product is really to reduce oxidative stress. It's a very actually pretty strong anti-inflammatory. Most of free radical formation will typically provoke an inflammatory response that most people can feel in their joints. And so this product really works to reduce that, to support a healthy liver. It works to upregulate phase 2 enzymes and phase 1 enzymes in the liver, which help to clear out and toxins that you accumulate, whether they're medications or just crap you inhale, stuff that you inhale, beg your pardon, or just byproducts from food. And so the one thing I think is really interesting is we also utilize and incorporate a very unique blend of 4 different herbs that have been shown to promote and fortify your skin. So if you think of your body has a couple, 3 different organisms that are at the heart of your defenses. 1 is your liver, 2 is your kidneys, and those are 2 very well-known organs that either clean out, filter out crap, or really waste and other molecules. But your skin is the third organ that's really functional in that. So just a reminder, oxidative stress is caused by free radicals, and this is really at the heart of aging, accelerated aging. You can have oxidative stress from poor nutrition, from living a sedentary lifestyle, from sitting out in a contaminated environment. All of this will create oxidative stress. Your emotional state also can influence stress levels and elevate oxidative stress. From a physical standpoint, externally, you'll start to see over time. This happens over the course of years. This isn't something that just happens from yesterday to today or something like that. But you'll start to see manifestations, particularly in your skin, like acne, a lot more accelerated wrinkles, premature aging, pigmentation from sunspots, things of that nature. So what our product provides is ingredients like milk thistle. We get a really clean milk thistle from the Middle East. We also get a really nice curcumin product, turmeric product. We have worked really hard to filter through the stuff from China. We just don't use it. Like we can't. We can't trust those sources, and so we've worked really hard to identify some really clean turmeric sources in India, and that's a hard thing to do because India is as every bit as polluted as China. We source some really nice green teas from Japan. We purposely don't. I mean, China's kind of the tea capital of the world, but we look at green tea really as being a Japanese product for us. It's where we get theanine, and in future products, you'll know matcha is coming from Japan as well. So this blend that I was referring to is sourced again from Spain, and many of the extracts are grown in the Mediterranean, whether it's Spain, Greece, or Italy. And we have a really nice partner there that works with the local universities in Spain. And the Spanish government's invested a ton of money into research and development. And so our partner there works with 4 different universities in Spain to conduct some really nice, well thought out and well planned scientific investigations from the cell culture level to human studies. And what they see now is how this blend of different extracts improves and protects the skin, protects it from UV damage, UV induced damage. You'll see here the reduction of interleukin 8, interleukin 1 alpha, and interleukin 1/6, all inflammatory responses, cytokine responses to UV radiation. It also increases, it also decreases the reactive oxygen species that that will happen as a result, again, of UV exposure. You can see here in a dose-dependent manner, it increases that response. And we have some more data that we'd love to share with you at a different time. But just to give you a sense of what we do as a company is we work with great partners that invest time, energy, and money into making sure that that what we are providing in our products is going to give you a reproducible result. Some of the data that we show is when you consume the product for 90 days, you'll start to see very visible reductions in like skin elasticity, skin hydration, the elimination of some of what these crow's feet that are so-called crow's feet around the eyes, and some really nice things. And that those benefits are cumulative, meaning the longer that you consume the product, the more that you start to see those benefits. So it's an interesting product. In addition to all the other benefits in terms of oxidative stress reduction. Let me jump into fiber real quick. Not sure why am I. And Regan, and let me know if we have a time constraint, because it can certainly accelerate or go faster or slower. I'm certainly conscious of your time because many of you are on the East Coast, and so it's probably getting.
Say that we're loving this. I so appreciate you going through everything. I know we do have some people on the East Coast that have early wake up time. So
All right. So give me 10 more minutes. I'll wrap up and we'll be done.
thank you.
Which means we got to go relatively fast. I've worked for 10 years with fiber, and I have very much a love relationship with fiber, not a hate, love relationship with fiber, because the benefits are overwhelming in terms of how you can have an immediate impact with your health by consuming fiber. And so I show you the benefits here. Our fiber, at the heart of our fiber is this really nice, clean psyllium husk fiber. We added psyllium husk, as you know, is a very nice bulking agent, promotes bowel movement, promotes your intestinal tract motility, not the contraction at all, but as it hydrates and it swells and gels, will start to bulk and bring with it toxins that might be accumulating within your digestive tract. And very nice, very super clean in terms of it's any sort of contaminants, heavy metals or anything like that. It's a nice product. We add other gums like acacia gum, guar gum, citrus pectin, to give a little bit of offset and balance. These are more prebiotic fibers. They're very good to feed, and they're great sources of nutrient sources for healthy gut bacteria. The other nice thing, is this blend, and we want our fiber to have some nutrition and some value, and so we have what we call our ancient grain sources. So grains that have been around forever, that have been really at the heart of like ancient civilizations as their primary source of food: amaranth, buckwheat, quinoa, millet, chia. I mean, these are all high fiber, high protein grains, and very low carb, low glycemic grains as well. Again, gluten free. You can have that assurance. You're not. We also don't have to worry about phytases that come from wheat primarily, and very nice, simple product. Very effective. One thing I think we were talking about the other night. You have to drink fiber relatively quickly. Unlike, say, a purple or something like that you can kind of sip on over time, fiber is the kind of thing you want to mix and drink quickly, because you want the hydration and the expansion to occur in your gut. So make sure that you drink quick, be done, and make sure that you're also adding some extra liquid so that you can avoid the constipation that comes from not drinking enough water when you're consuming fiber. Our omega product, omega 3 plus D, I love this product. There's a really nice blend of EPA, DHA that come from sardines. They're harvested in a sustainable fishing practice off the coast of Chile and Peru. There's 2,000 international units of vitamin D. So depending on where you are with your vitamin D supplementation, really 400 IUs is nothing. It doesn't even measure in your blood. You don't see anything until really a little over 800 IUs per serving. And depending on your sun exposure, you might be, you're likely vitamin D deficient, even if you are living in sunny Florida. So one question I had was, if you're vitamin D deficient, how much should you take? Well, definitely take 4 capsules. There's 4 capsules per serving. One way to really get past that would be to double that dose. I take it 3 times a day for different reasons, but to get your blood level, your serum levels of vitamin D to a healthy source, you really do need to act and to supplement with a little bit higher dose. 2,000 IUs will get you there. It just takes a little bit longer time. If you want to get there faster, obviously you just supplement with more. I think we put, yeah.
Brent had mentioned something unique about this product too, with the synergistic effect of the omega-3 and the D combination. Could you touch on that real quickly?
Oh, you bet. So vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. If you're getting in a capsule, like a hard capsule, it's likely not going to do anything for you, just because it's so hard for you to absorb that, unless you're eating it with, a ton of salad dressing or like a vinaigrette or something. Probably you probably won't maximize the absorption. So we have the benefits overlap in terms of cardiovascular disease, inflammation. Vitamin D is a very potent immune system regulator, but because it's a fat soluble vitamin and we're also providing essential fatty acids, it made a lot of sense to our team to just combine the two and create a multifunctional product with where it's a 2-in-1 instead of having to take 2 separate products. Does that make sense? Cool.
Thank
you. You bet. Just kind of give you an idea of where fish is cultivated. We're friend of the sea. These are things that seem kind of trivial, but they're really important to us. We want to have a very positive impact and a minimal impact as well. So our partners here in Arica, they've commented on a number of occasions that sometimes they have to be a little lean in their manufacturing because the governments between Chile and Peru won't allow fishermen to go out. They're preserving fish mass, and unless the fish population reaches a certain point, they won't allow fishermen out. They're also very active in terms of ocean pollution and ocean control. And I think I mentioned earlier that these are sardines. The sardines, the primary source of omega-3s in the product. Just to finish, this is the last product. This is a new product for us, Peak Protein. It's a grass-fed whey protein isolate, 18 grams of protein per serving, 4 grams of MCT or medium chain triglycerides, 4 grams of fiber, 0 grams of sugar. I think I was showing to you this earlier. I'm drinking the chocolate version right now. It's really, it's actually better. Oh, by the way, this is all in Spanish. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. I'm so embarrassed.
It's okay. The good news is you can translate for us.
I can totally translate. So,
Mexico, Sagat.
So when it comes to macronutrient consumption, our philosophy is very simple. We put a priority and a premium on protein. We have this protein. It's a peak protein, it's a dairy-based protein. We're in the process right now formulating a plant-based protein, but we want protein to really be at the focus of your diet. Like, start with protein, fuel with fats. Don't be afraid of fats. They're not bad for us if you're getting the right kinds of fats. Fats from fish or fats from chia. Those are great sources of good, healthy fats. And then lastly, control your carbohydrates. So the product is great for, it's very simple on-the-go nutrition. It's vanilla. flavoring, meaning you can add just about anything to it to create some variety. We've been trying out some really cool protein pancakes, waffles, cookies, replacing just normal flour with the protein, and it turns out really quite nice. What you see here is it's a great product for post workouts for diabetics. Again, no added sugars. You see this over and over and over again. And there's a personal reason for it. I mean, I love what's going on in Aceli because it's really helping me in my own life make better health decisions. And so it's helping me manage my blood sugar better. It's helping me lose weight, and it's helping me get into better shape. It's great for kids. It's great for adults who are who really need to maintain muscle mass. As you age, you lose muscle mass, and so it's a very simple product to give and supplement with protein. So that's it. That's the information that I wanted to share tonight. I hope I addressed everybody's questions. I'm going to just cheat really quick and make sure I've got everyone down. I think there's two questions just to answer relatively quickly. One is, if someone's deficient in B12, which products would I recommend? Well, Purple and Boost, Purple in particular, has a really nice source of B12. And that's a great product that will give you the B12 that you need. I should also mention that this is just the starting of our product line. We're a 2-year-old company. So we have some other projects and products in the works that may be more helpful for broader nutrition in terms of B vitamin supplementation or iron supplementation. We really don't have a product right now that is directly addressing anemia, but we certainly can work on and are working on some other. To give you an example, just a multivitamin pack that we combine with some minerals as well. So you get a nice, very good, again, clean, natural vitamin source, multivitamin, a very good, clean, natural, again, mineral source supplement as well. So things to look forward in the future. I just got this today. This is my sample of moringa.
Yay!
And those will be going out in the mail tomorrow. So it's beautiful. You can't see it very well because my office, but you can see it's a very brilliant green color. Super. We're just really starting to fall in love with this product.
Making me salivate just seeing.
Right, and I tell you, it takes a lot to make me fall in love with it. So it's fun. I think we're really excited. So, thank you very much. I know you've got an early wake up time. I appreciate your time tonight. Let you go to bed, get some rest. But sure is a pleasure being with you, and I hope we can. I really do hope to meet you in person. I think this is one of the things that I love is getting to know people, seeing firsthand how products can improve lives and improve health. And we've got a really fun message to share, and we've got a lot more products that are going to be that are going to really help make a really positive difference. And so we're excited that you're joining the Aceli family, and can't wait again to meet you all in person. So have a good evening. Oh, any questions really quick?
Thomas, thank you so much. I was going to say real quick, is there anybody that has any questions that we didn't get taken care of ahead of time? We really, really appreciate you taking so much time tonight, Thomas.
Oh, you bet. I think Jenna has a question.
I've got a question, Regan. Am I unmuted? Yeah, Thomas.
Unmuted. Yes.
So, hey, it's Janet. How are you?
Well,
I am so excited about this. I am just about to slap out of my chair. So good. But I do have a question, and I think I sent it in. I have a friend that's had gastric bypass, and she is depleted in, everything. Um, would all of these products be gut friendly to her, as far as absorption and traveling through whatever digestive tract she has left?
So clearly, there are some products that are gut friendly for sure, no doubt. Our ProBio 15 is precisely that, and there's not. I think it's a little bit of the unknown in terms of when you go through gastric bypass, what happens to your gut flora. Um, there's some people who are hypothesizing you get a reset and a refresh, and in this case, why even take a chance? Just that's a great place to start. Start with colonizing and getting good, healthy gut flora into your system. Um, the contraction in terms of your gut size matters. So we in our peak protein, for example, we purposely didn't add vitamins and minerals to it. We really wanted to focus this as being just a solid fuel type product. But protein will carry some different nutrients there. We don't, I mentioned this earlier, Janet, we don't have a multivitamin yet that would be a really good solid option for her. But it wouldn't surprise me if that wasn't available a little bit later this year. Like, we're really focused on that. We just found a really good organic supplier that focuses on especially B vitamins. Like, those are really hard to find in an organic sense. So we're really excited about what we can do with them in terms of what this multivitamin pack will have in place. So unfortunately, we don't have an all-in-one kind of product for that yet, but we will soon. So we'll keep you posted on that.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Anybody else have any last questions? Awesome. Well, I thank you again, everybody, especially y'all on the East Coast, for staying up late. Thomas, this has been incredible. I know I've already had a number of text messages saying, "Can we get some of these slides? These are amazing." So we really, again, want to thank you for all you're doing with creating the products, but really helping educate us to be able to share the message more effectively and carry out and launch what we're doing here in North America, in particular with the Sealy. So
You bet. So just, and I love it. I appreciate it. These can all be available. Clearly, we'll clean this up because, you don't want to have, it might, well, I'm bilingual, so it doesn't bother me one bit, but you might want to have just a uni language on this slide, but they'll definitely be available to anybody and everybody who wants it. So
just tell us what Super Rico means.
Means, oh, so delicious.
There you go.
So delicious.
Dina,
Thank you.
You're unmuted real quick. Dina, oh, you just muted yourself again. I wanted you to share your testimony real quickly with Thomas.
Oh, Thomas, I'm prayerfully, I'm down from a size 18-20 to a size 13 maybe, or maybe 12. Some say 10, but the plant-based eating, the losing one insulin and now only want to one last insulin that's at night, away from 2 medicines to 1 pill only at night instead of every meal. Just blessed to not be as a diehard diabetic anymore, but just a light diabetic, which is a wonderful thing. Your product, Purple and Purple Plus, darling, I can't take a whole packet because it makes my blood sugars drop too quick. So I've gone to half a pack, but still I'm having the crashes. Like just at work the other day, I only drank half of it, but still I was sweating, melting. You can see the sweat through my clothes. I'm like, a lady said, "Are you a diabetic?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh shoot, I'm crashing. I'm cleaning teeth and crashing." It's not a good thing, but it's a good thing that I know that if I decide to eat a piece of cake, I know what I can take to help get back in line. So thank you so much for this wonderful, fantastic product.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, but this is really at the heart of what, you know, what we're trying to get at is you know, with our product, we want that change to happen internally, and hopefully, please don't ever, you know, please don't ever crash. But
I know.
if you, it sounds like you've got that dialed in, but you know, over time, what we expect in, you know, in the next, you know, 30, 60 days is, well, your doctor giving you the okay to adjust some insulin and some medication as well. So I'm excited
Throw
to
that last
see
one
about that.
away. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Have a good
Thank you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Bye.